Hello, everybody, and welcome to Experience Shared, your gaming book club. I'm Sarah, but you might know me better as Nimzy, because of the channel that this is posted on now. I started putting all my retro gaming stuff there. So, who is everybody else?
I'm Bly.
I'm Connie.
I'm up, dog.
Okay, great start. Everybody, you are as awkward as always. You act like you've never recorded anything before. That's
I
great.
love it. This is my first time. I'm fresh and
Okay.
I'm never
like
been.
a virgin.
So the last episode we did of this, we were going to do Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door, but it did not work out because Dolphin had a bunch of issues and it just does not agree with that graphics system that Nintendo was using. So we dropped that. We could not get it to work. So we tried Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. Everyone dropped it, and then we just kind of forgot to make a video on it. So we're
we
back,
dropped it because
and
we couldn't play it.
Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, that was the Game Boy Advance one.
We could play.
Oh, that one. Oh, I forgot about that one.
I think everyone was equally not liking that one.
Oh, you were just not liking that one.
To be
Yeah,
fair,
it's
I
kinda
stopped when I got to the castle and I was like, I am not doing the castle. I'm not doing this fuck-ass castle. They put me in a dungeon of puzzles and I don't want that.
Okay, so what we're doing instead is we're resetting, restarting, doing it fresh. Blythe chose the game for us, and it is Parasite Eve
I wasn't
on the
supposed
PlayStation
to.
1. Yes, you were not supposed to. We just assumed that you were next, I guess. But we're restarting the order, and we're going with Parasite Eve. Blythe picked the game, and we played it. How did everyone play it? I played it on PC, emulating via Retrobat.
I think the rest of us did it on Duck Station.
Okay, so everybody did it on PC.
I did that. Me. Hi.
Okay.
Hi, hello.
All right. So first off, the basic setting of Parasite Eve. It is a Japanese game that was made in tandem with an American studio. So the American and Japanese studio were working together to make the game, and it's kind of created this kind of weird, interesting setting. So
The weird, interesting setting of New York City during Christmas. Is
Yes.
that what you mean?
Yeah.
I think
Yes,
they
well,
were a bunch of diehard fans.
yeah,
well,
that's what I mean. Is that it's written like a cop movie. It's written like it was made by Japanese people who have only ever seen American media through buddy cop movies.
well, it is Squaresoft, so
But they had an American studio helping with translation stuff. Basically, Parasite Eve, the story is about Aya Brea, who is a cop who is going on to an opera with her current boyfriend, her main squeeze. Well, not even a boyfriend. She just went on a trip with this guy because she was like, screw it. I need to get out anyway. So she puts on the sexy little black dress and goes to the opera with him. And they sit down in the opera and they watch it. And during the opera, the lead actress goes to sing her line and everyone starts lighting on fire. Everyone around Aya is being lit on fire too.
crazy.
But Aya is perfectly fine.
she's hot. That's what she noticed. It's not perfectly fine. She notices that she's much hotter.
She's warm.
Temperature-wise.
Temperature-wise. Although the black dress is pretty good on her.
No. She definitely looked in the mirror and was like, I don't know. I thought I was an 8, but now I think I'm a 10.
Yeah, after hearing the music, she thought immediately better of herself.
On fire. No, literally.
I am smoking.
All right, so as the story goes on, the actress Melissa ends up getting possessed by a parasite in her body that is the mitochondria, not an actual parasite, but like the thing that encases your cells, the powerhouse of the cell.
The mitochondria is an organelle. It is not an encasing. It is an organelle inside your cell.
Okay, well, the mitochondria being the powerhouse of the cell was actually all along the powerhouse of humanity in general. So the mitochondria in this game has a life of its own and thought of its own, and has basically been lying dormant inside of humans waiting for the right time to surface.
Not quite.
You didn't get to the end of the game. I'm telling you from the perspective of the end of the game.
The scientist says regular mitochondria are not like that, but it's hinted that her mitochondria are different because they're fucked with.
Melissa's mitochondria are different because of where her mitochondria are coming from because of an organ transplant she received. So, explaining anything beyond the first day is immediately spoiler territory. So we're gonna wait on that.
It's fucking, you can't talk about Parasite Eve without saying anything fucking wacky.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's-
sound like you're off your meds.
Well, wait until we get to the part about
my mess.
Wait until we get to the part where they go to the sperm bank and try to get it shut off because
they try to shut off the tap at the sperm bank.
Yes, because Eve is trying to get pregnant, which she succeeds in getting pregnant.
Yeah. She does.
Purging.
Yeah.
I like to say the anti-burn-ins like opening screen for like when you're booting up the game goes insanely hard. It's like the most insane anti-burn-in screen opener.
Oh yeah, but the point of the game is that this started on Christmas Eve, and so it goes over the course of 6 days, starting at Christmas Eve and ending around the 30th, so right before the New Year. So it's it's like it's happening during Christmas. It's happening before Christmas, during Christmas, and a little bit after Christmas. It's within the 12 days of Christmas, as us professionals call it, professional jolliers.
Oh, thank God! I celebrate Hanukkah.
So it's not actually a Christmas game. It's a Christmas game in the same way that Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Ho ho ho.
Ho ho ho.
My God, the mitochondria. It's giving gifts.
And so yeah, Melissa becomes possessed by Eve. Eve exposition spits basically Aya's special, and it turns out Aya's special because she also has this special mitochondria that is very similar to the mitochondria that took over Melissa. But Aya's mitochondria is special because she stays in control of it.
I think she's reversed. I think what's with her is Aya takes more power from
she has
her
a
mitochondria.
She has a mitochondria form just like Eve does. You use the ability Liberate to set it free.
Oh.
Yeah, she's able to transform as well.
Yeah, so there's a mitochondria
Fuck, I wish I could have seen that, but I did not want to play that far into the game. I heard
it happens at like the very end.
I heard Labyrinth like several times throughout the game, and I was like, I'm not doing it.
I could show you it. I have a save like right at the end.
Yeah, we'll show you it later, but she's pretty cool looking.
I played 3 hours.
She got like wings and shit.
And I think that was 2 hours too many.
Okay, so I guess let's just ask what everyone thought of it in general. I thought it was a good game, but definitely symptomatic of the time that it was released in.
I mean, okay, it's certainly like
boring.
Like the story is interesting, but like reading through all of it as the music goes doo 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 doo, it will put you to sleep.
Yeah, there's a lot of like the way the combat works is that you activate attack mode when your ATB gauge is filled. You activate attack mode, and
it's Final Fantasy VII
with the ATB gauge and stuff like that.
Gauge.
But you can freely move before the ATB gauge kicks in, and you can press X to confirm ATB gauge mode, and then you'll pull up your weapon, and at that point you can go through your inventory and change weapons, use items, activate parasite moves, or shoot. And no matter what you pick, combat is not exciting. And then when you are outside of combat, you are just walking around waiting for the combat to kick in. The stage design in the very beginning is very, very good. It naturally leads you down the right direction. But when you get to the sewer location and the museum,
it actually detours like away from that. Like the first level is so railroady. Like the first day is so railroady, and then you get to the second day and you get to the concert and the zoo, New York Central or whatever it
Central
is.
Park Zoo.
Central Park Zoo.
Yeah, the Central Park.
And it is everywhere.
Yeah, and then the sewer is especially bad and truly directionless, and then the museum is just as bad too. The sewer and the museum I needed maps for, and they are very confusing and very circuitous, and...
You know what's funny is I didn't need a map at all for the sewer. I followed like the general rules for like mazes where you hug the right side and just follow it.
Yeah.
And that's how I got out.
I did the opposite. I followed along the left side, and I just kept looping back in on myself.
I guess you don't know mazes.
Yeah, I don't know mazes. To be fair, though, it is not really a maze. It is a series of 4-axis hallways connected to each other. So it's like a grid, and you walk down the grid lines.
I did look up a map just so I could make sure to find all the items, but I think they were expecting you to run around in circles a bit in there to get some level ups.
Yeah,
as well as get some items.
I think it was either expecting you to farm by accident, or they were doing it on purpose to pad out the time, because this is back when people cared more about how long a game was and how that related to the cost as to whether it was good or not. So like it took me 10 hours to beat it with a walkthrough for the last half of it, and that was with a little bit of farming. But I think if you played it like truly guideless, you'd get like closer to 14 hours. How was your time, Connie? Because you didn't really use a guide that much.
I did use a guide for the museum part just because I did realize that there was a lot of backtracking through some areas in there. and it was, I mean, and I also wanted to make sure I grabbed all the items too, but there is like a lot of parts where like it'll tell you can't go this way, so it gets more guided in some areas of the museum than it does in others.
All right,
But,
how long did it take you to finish?
That's a little hard to say because...
Well, what does your save file say?
Let me open it really quick.
All right. The actual navigation of the stages, you usually just walk throughout the place, but the problem is that depending on some camera angles and locations, the controls can get entirely mixed up.
It says I played for 16 hours.
16 hours, yeah. So without a guide, you can expect around 14 hours on the game. But 10 hours is about the average.
But that's not even all of it, because you had EX mode and the special ending.
Yeah, but those are extra modes. That's what EX stands for, extra. Everyone's not expected to play through it. But it's a good thing that the EX mode is there because the game is actually piss easy the whole time until the very end.
It really is. I got to the second part of the police station where it's all fucked up, and it's really easy.
Mm-hmm.
I like the boss fights. A lot of them had you doing dodge mechanics, stuff like that, and also, running and shooting, but also I think our experiences might have been a little different too because of the way we changed our weapons too. If you weren't following a guide, you wouldn't know what would be the best thing to put on your weapons or whatever.
Yeah, I actually didn't. I completely missed the tool system until the last half of the game when I asked Blythe about it. I was like, "Hey, what's the deal with all these tools?"
I keep getting mod permits, and my weapon has so many slots, but I don't know what that means.
So basically, the tool system is actually a really cool system. What it does is it lets you take aspects from your gun, from one gun, and apply them to another gun, or from one armor to another armor. And what it does is it destroys the one that you selected in the first place and gives that item to another thing. So if you had a gun with stats for +4 damage, you could take that modifier and apply it to your new gun. Or if it has something like double actions, where you can take 2 actions on a single turn, you can take that effect and put it on your gun, and then your new gun would have that. So you're not just building your character as you go, you're building your gun as you go. And the cool thing is that when you finish the game, you get to carry over one gun and one piece of armor of your choice into the extra mode. So my gun at the end was really, really good. I had an assault rifle with 31 rounds in it. It did over 100 damage. It had 200 range. And then
you struggled with the final boss?
The final boss is hard.
It wasn't that hard.
Shut up, Connie. and I had other problems with it because my gun wasn't very good at first. I went back and fixed some things.
I think generally the only person who had very big issues with the game was Smith, because by the time I was looking at his screen when he was playing, he was in the first level and he was beating things with the melee because he had ran out of bullets.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
How did you run out of bullets?
By the end of the game, I had over 1,000 bullets.
I just ran out of bullets for that one life.
Oh, you know
I
what?
died and I got them.
Were you not getting close enough when you fired?
No, I was because like a normal person, I tend to stay away from people when I shoot them.
Okay, but you didn't notice the giant bubble?
He was probably spamming the buttons.
The giant bubble dictates your range. It's saying, hey, this is the furthest you can shoot before you lose all damage bonus.
Uh-huh.
It's a persistent bubble too, so if they move out of it, while you have it activated and before your character attacked, it could actually move out of that damage range and you could start missing.
Yeah, and that's something that was annoying about the combat, is that sometimes Aya's animations are so long that your ATB gauge would be filled before she finishes her fight animation from the last turn.
Yeah. She's a very slow character in general.
What was the weapon that you used?
Single fire mode.
What was the weapon that you used for your final fight, Sarah?
I used a G3A3 with 100 damage, 200 range, 31 ammo, and then I had double action on it so that I could take 2 turns at once. It was single fire, and then it had blast so that it did AoE damage when I shot, and I can't remember what the other thing was.
Mine was the shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember which one specifically, but it had 6 slots on it. I had fire, I had ice, tranquilizer, and then the double action.
Yeah, so if you're paying attention and you understand the tool system from the beginning, it's a very easy experience. It's a very easy experience regardless. It doesn't get hard until that final boss, really. And the final boss is it's first a 2-form boss with one boss, and then it's a 3-form boss with another boss. And 4-form boss, wasn't it? No, it was 3.
There's the baby. Then
it is 4 phases. It is 4 phases. But
yes.
We are gonna save talking about the boss until near the end in case you decide to play for yourself. But yeah, so is there any special notes that you wanted to talk about?
The combat is shit.
The music is banger.
It does have some decent music. I've been using it in the background in some of my videos.
I do like the music a lot. I will
Probably
say that
the best thing.
I will say that the way they implement it in some cases is not very great. Like, you'll be in the middle of a conversation with an NPC, and suddenly, like, this banger OST comes in, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? And then it'll just suddenly disappear while they're talking, and then suddenly it's quiet again, and you're like, what the fuck was that about?
So we're talking about the things we like first, right?
I guess I'm talking about general shit. I didn't write very many notes, because I actually enjoyed this game a lot.
I wrote down a lot of negative notes, actually.
I will say the combat isn't very rewarding. It's kind of like just a thing that happens.
I like the combat because it's dodging.
Are you using your bonus points?
Yeah, I put my bonus. But I mean, like the bonus points, like if you aren't farming, don't really make much of a difference other than like adding putting it all in.
I put it all into one gun.
I put it into action or ATB or whatever, and then I realized that you could
bonus points into guns.
Yeah, you can take your bonus points and put them into a gun. Yeah. You just select the gun instead of your character stuff. They're both on the same screen.
Yeah, I didn't find that out until.
No wonder it is easy.
So that's why I was able to get like 100 damage because I bumped all of my bonus points into my gun damage.
I didn't do that because I didn't know you could do that, and then when
I found it out towards the end, and I was like, "Oh, this is what I'm doing now."
You might as well just save all your bonus points for the gun then, at that point.
Yeah, since you can transfer your gun over, you may as well. And the ATB gauge fills up quickly, not that it's not a problem. And I was on single shot mode, so that
would kind of go crazy with the MP5 because the MP5 shoots 5 bullets, but it's random.
The MP5 shoots 7 bullets.
And also has random rate of fire.
It's 5.
MP5 PDW?
Not the PDW.
It's you found a different one than I did.
Like MPK. 45.
There's a couple different kind in there.
There's a lot of guns.
The first like little submachine gun shoots 5, but it's random.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was using while I was in the police station for the most part.
The random shot is so ass, though. It really is random. It's like, we were talking about how like her animations can sometimes take so long that your ATB gauge refills, but when you've got like the MP5K PDW, you're firing 7 shots on a turn, and then it's random. So you have to wait for her to shoot, turn to a random enemy, shoot again, turn to a random enemy, shoot again, turn to a random enemy, shoot again.
Yeah, I had that on my gun for like the longest time, and it was the most awful decision I ever made because I had to get rid of it. Like I specifically was searching for a tool to get rid of it because it was annoying the shit out of me.
Yeah, I much preferred having single shot and blast ammo.
And here's the thing about the single, like the shot amounts. You do less damage in terms of like per shot when you have like a higher rate of fire. Yeah.
Each individual shot does less damage for the more shots your gun has.
But it does more damage overall. But the percentage is only like 5% damage increase.
So you're trading vulnerability off for more damage. So that's why I use single shot.
Single shot's better because you shoot one shot and it does 125% of whatever your damage is, rather than...
Oh, then yeah, just put it in the shotgun and then...
That's why I was using the shotgun, because it made more sense to use...
And I was doing double action, so I could shoot and then use a heal on the same turn, or I could use 2 heal items to heal for much more than I usually would. And that's what made the final boss so easy for me once I figured out what I was doing.
Also the weird, like, magazine system where, like, the gun holds a certain amount of ammo and then you have to reload it either outside or inside combat.
Yeah, that was really annoying, especially when I had high fire rate weapons and I had to stop in between my 5 shots to reload.
Oh shit, I'm out.
I don't know if this was a bug with mine or not, but because my gun shot like 2 bullets per turn with the second command thing, if you had an odd number of bullets for your magazine and you did 2 turns with it, you just wouldn't reload it.
Probably
you'd actually just keep shooting.
That sounds
so
like
if you like were actually paying attention to how many shots you were shooting, you never had to reload it, which I thought was just super fucking funny.
I just had a really big magazine, so I didn't have to reload that much. And if it'd been a while since I last reloaded, I would reload manually between combats.
I had 7 bullets in my shotgun when I finished the final boss.
So,
Also, I had my ammo case was completely maxed out.
I'm just going to go off of the many notes on my list, and then anything I don't mention that happens to be in y'all's list, you can chime in and mention. Wow, your list is very short. Okay. So, my first note, Christmas game. I made some great notes.
Ho ho ho.
Ho ho ho. Definitely a PS1 game. The 3D graphics are rough and do not hold up to time.
Well, obviously, it's a PS1 game.
Even with 4 times upscaling to make it 1080p, it didn't look the best. And I had some issues with the emulation where polygons would disappear and flicker.
I had flicker,
But that's more an emulation problem than the game. Opera Lady makes people explode. We pull out a blicky and she's a witch. We have to shoot her. The game has no tutorial, which I was wrong about. There was a tutorial. It's just not good. So I die because I didn't know you had limited ammo and don't do damage when far away.
I kind of just started blasting her up like front. I just did not care.
I figured it out pretty quickly. I didn't have any issues with the combat.
tutorial was less than non-existent. Like,
It's just pop-up windows. You read it. You could get the same thing from the manual.
That's what it did with you with the I mean, it's a PS1 game. It can't show you through that because that takes up space.
It's already 2 discs. Just give me a damn walkthrough tutorial.
Third disc, tutorial disc.
There's barely anything on the second disc.
The second disc is pretty small. Like, there's not much to it.
What were you saying, Smith?
I hate
Yeah.
there was no fucking tutorial.
The tutorial is the same thing as what was in the manual, but it's a little bit more helpful because it has pictures to accompany it at the exact same time. But I read the manual and I read that tutorial, and there is no difference between them. It is not a tutorial. It is just a retelling of the manual in case you bought it used. Forgot old games came with homework, so I read the manual. Manual isn't a substitute. It's not in the context of how you would be introduced to the combat, especially with the fight with Melissa. The fight with Melissa should have been taken as an opportunity as a tutorial.
Man, you really hung up with it not having a tutorial.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking stupid. Why wouldn't it have a
It's
tutorial?
such an obscure game, too. No other game plays like this.
Well, we weren't alive back there to play it, so it's not like, we
Oh
had
yeah, let
any-
me just ask my mom for Parasite Eve to play on the PS2. What are you talking about?
You can also tell that this is a 2000s game because you save at payphones.
Yeah, the payphone shit. Oh,
I thought that was funny.
God.
It's an Earthbound game. It's an Earthbound game.
Basically Resident Evil if it was an RPG. Yeah.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
Resident Evil vibe.
I feel like it's better than Resident Evil in the sense that instead of doing like real time like aiming and shooting, it went for a more like RPG like.
Yeah, Square Enix knows what they're good at, and that's RPGs.
Well, I think they kind of knew, like, how the fuck are we gonna, like, do aiming and stuff on this and it not be weird and awkward?
Totally forgetting that they have a second analog stick on the controller. But not every but they
PS1 back then didn't have analog sticks.
No,
Ape
they
Escape.
did. They did have analog sticks, but it was introduced with Ape Escape, and Parasite Eve was made to work with analog sticks. Yes, but they
Okay, so it
didn't
came
want.
after Ape.
But they didn't want to use right stick for anything because not every controller had it. Like you said, not every controller on the PS1 was an analog stick controller, so they didn't want to use full analog controls, which is why the D-pad wasn't mapped for anything. I think if it was made nowadays, it could be better, but also if it was made nowadays, it would just be, a regular shooter.
But also, it did, I mean, at the later time that it came out, they were probably like, we don't want to do tank controls. Tank controls are probably too hard.
Yeah, they do suck. Unskippable cutscenes was a big issue for me throughout the entire game. I've lost to the final boss like 3 or 4 times, and each time I was forced to watch that 30-minute long cutscene preceding the boss fight. And I went on fast forward 3 times speed, and while playing on 3 times speed, I was like, oh, holy crap. This is the speed that the game should actually be played at, because Aya Brea is so fucking slow. Her base walk speed should be her run speed, and her run speed should be 3 times faster than what her current run speed is.
I will agree with you on that. Her walk speed is almost the same as her run speed, and her run speed is not very fast.
I didn't
It's
even know
like-
there was a run in the game.
You were
You're
playing
a
on
cop.
walk speed the whole time?
Yeah.
It's like, bitch, you're a cop. Get the lead out.
I had a thing enabled on my controller called analog mode, and it had me do auto run, and that felt too slow.
Yeah, I was doing manual run, which is holding circle and moving the left stick, and it was still too slow.
Yeah, I got the police station. I didn't know there was a run button.
Oh, and you were making fun of me and Smith for aiming badly.
Damn.
You didn't press circle even once.
I didn't think it did anything. I was like, there's got to be a run button, and I pressed like everything while I was running around. I was like, there must be no run button. Oh well, so I gave up.
This is why you're here, everybody, just to know that all of us are dumb.
Listen,
We're all incompetent in our own ways.
I was killing shit, and I was getting through the game. I wasn't worried.
Okay, monsters, gross, animals twisted by Eve's cells. Yeah, I thought the monsters were really gross and really cool looking. But I liked that there was a cutscene introduction for the rat, and that was really gross and cool, and for like the crocodile boss. But then they just stopped doing that, and I hated it because
I wish they did more.
So many cool enemies. Yeah, I wish they did more of the introduction cutscenes.
That'd be pretty nice, but they were like, fuck, we put too much good music on this disc, we're running out of space.
New York rats are big. Yes, they are very big in this game.
This is kind of fast forwarding to the zoo part, but like, my main question is, why the fuck do the polar bears
fire lightning
attack that fires lightning?
Yeah.
Because the rats shoot fire? I don't know.
Definitely set in the US, ammo was everywhere, even the rats and Melissa were packing. Yeah, I found ammo in Melissa's dresser, and I also found ammo in the hospital. I found ammo on rats. Everyone in this game was packing heat at some point.
Well, I mean, are you forgetting the fact where you rob a literal gun store, like, right next to a pharmacy?
Yeah, those are on the same street.
It's New York City. I mean, what do you want?
Speaking of, like, just random items, a lot of the guides I was following, when they told me what loot was in a certain chest, and I went to go pick it up, that stuff was not actually there. It was something completely different.
Yeah,
it's random.
It's randomized, because I noticed the same thing, too, with the guide that I was following. But also, the guide was wrong about what enemies appeared where, too. So the enemies are slightly random in their location, too.
So trying to find, like, following, like, a guide for some of this can also be a little confusing in that sense.
My biggest gripe with the opera beginning so far is I kind of actually got lost. Like, I didn't know, like, I went through, like, all the rooms, and then the clown guy died, and I was like, okay, he died, so what?
Yeah, I did.
And
I
didn't know you had to check his body to get the key and then skedaddle back.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I ignored the clown guy.
I'm one of those ones that, like,
you pick through everything.
See something happen, it's like, ooh, let me go check and see what that's going on. Because I'm like a little nasty little raccoon man, right? Where I just rub my hands together. I'm like, trash.
Mm-hmm. I think this like really pertains to my the way I play my divinity character, where if I see something that's lootable,
you steal everything.
It's lootable. If it's lootable, I'm taking it.
If it's not nailed down, it's coming with.
Well, my issue is I am more like I grew up like in the way of like Resident Evil 4. Like the thing will shine for you if you want it,
right?
Or like it looks differently textured than the background with older games, and that's what I'm used to. I'm not used to you going and constantly touching dead bodies all the time because this happens twice. The clown and the dead dude at the zoo fucking have to rummage through their burnt little corpses to get keys.
Yeah. Enemies dealt contact damage and do attacks of their own, so that was just something I noticed.
I hate that.
Contact damage is not good in any
so
sense.
Stupid.
It should have stayed with Mario
all the time either.
It should have stayed with like Mario games where contact damage, because that's a platforming game, but not in a game like this. There shouldn't be contact damage. That doesn't make sense.
It's such a weird idea because like a lot of the time like they attack like all over the place. Like you're fighting more than like usually one thing. The only time you're ever fighting one thing is usually the opera area.
That was one of my other notes. Enemies are smartly designed with more of a focus on zoning moves to take advantage of real-time movement.
Yeah,
it's smartly designed.
You can move past the thing.
They didn't need to do contact damage.
Contact damage is so
especially when you have to be so
much time on the move. Sorry, Connie,
especially because you have to be so close to them sometimes to dodge said moves.
Yeah, so like there was no point in doing the contact damage because the enemies were so smartly designed in every other way.
And like even then, like when you do get close to them, they have an attack for close range specifically.
I said generous ammo in the beginning. There was generous ammo throughout. Yeah. I had 1,100 ammo.
Every
at the
gun
end.
that you get, you can just snatch the ammo off and put it in your ammo box, so you matter too.
Yeah, before you turn it into weapon tool fodder.
Interaction boxes too small. Wasn't sure if I could interact with certain stuff or if it was the boxes. Interactables should always shine.
There were no indications of anything. Like Connie, like at the zoo, right? I had to tell her to go back and look for a key because she got lost for like what, 30 minutes, Connie?
I did too. It's ridiculous.
So
it's the JPEG backgrounds.
The JPEG background, but also there was an item right next to it that I looted, and I thought, oh, okay, that little spot right there is looted, so it's probably not going to be be there. Lo and behold, you have to turn your character physically to the right to open a drawer right next to the thing you just looted in order to get the key. And it made that's just not good game design in that sense.
Some items did have glints and glimmers to indicate that there was an item there, but not all of them did. They all should have done that. If something's interactable, it should have a way to indicate that. The boxes were fine. I could tell when the boxes...
Well, yeah, the boxes were fucking like big brown fucking stains on a...
But, like...
on a map.
Things hidden on the desk, things hidden in the drawers, like...
There's actually things hidden off screen as well.
Yeah, lots of hidden off-screen items. Yes. There is an elevator that leads to a different floor in the museum that requires you to go walking off into the back right corner behind a server, walk down until you hit the edge of a wall, which you have no way of knowing where the edge is, and then you have to turn right 90 degrees and walk back, and that leads into an elevator that is secretly hidden in the security.
It does it in the first beginning of the game. When you go into the sewer after the second fight, there's two boxes that are hidden off the screen that you can't see unless you go up the walkway and look down, and then you can see.
You know the box that was hidden in the zoo on the other side of the glass that you had to walk through the broken glass to get to?
Yeah.
There's a spot like that in the museum that leads to a room off to the left that has two boxes in it, one visible and one off screen.
There's also some in a room, in like a closet room, where you can't see it, but there's a box that you have to like physically walk up to that's a JPEG and click on it to move it to reveal a room.
Connie, did you notice the box inconsistencies too? How there was big boxes up until the very end and then everything was a super teeny tiny box?
Yes.
That was so weird. And it's not like a different image or a different box. It is the same box. Shrunk smaller.
Down, Christ.
They used to be like fucking like Legend of Zelda sized boxes, and then they somehow
like
became
little
like
jewelry boxes.
Little jewelry boxes.
But it was using the image of the bigger box.
And even those had like weird contact points for them too. Like there was like that room I was talking about with the JPEG box that you had to move that was at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
In that same room, there's a box at the top of it that you can quite plainly see, but for some reason you have to be in a very specific spot in order to like.
There was also a box in the lab that you were supposed to push out of the way to get into a vent that led into something. I think it was story important.
It was a button.
Yeah, and you had no way of knowing it was there other than an arrow pointing there, and you would just be guessed. Like, this is something that we are doing on massive screens compared to what they did back in the day. Back in the day, they were
CTR TVs.
Yeah, they were playing these on little CRT TVs, and we were playing these on much bigger screens, 4 times resolution, massively upscaled, and we were still struggling to see this stuff. Each monster grosser than the last. They did a great job on monster design.
This also comes from like the era where like you have like backyard logic, like school ground like logic, where you have to like if you can't figure it out yourself, you have to talk to your friends essentially who found it out by pure accident. Yeah, you needed a friend who was
also playing this. Very small inventory discourages hoarding. Multiple weapons, including melee.
You can actually get bigger inventories.
Yeah, you get it as you level up. Actually, it goes up on its own.
I think mine was like 30 by the end of the game.
Ring around Aya estimates range. Good gameplay, but gameplay is a symptom of the time. A modern game that plays like this would only be received positively by hardcore fans. It would have to be full real-time combat and would lose a lot of its unique charm. So yeah, I don't think it could be...
Are you thinking of a remaster for it?
Yeah, I think...
Parasite Eve remastered.
If there was a remaster, I think everyone except hardcore fans would hate it.
It'd get the Resident Evil 6 treatment.
Yeah. Croc Boss is cool, but camera changes threw me off.
The Croc Boss is okay. It's not super crazy.
Written like Lethal Weapon or some other cheesy cop movie.
Weapon. I think the most goofiest like boss fight is the boss fight in the carriage.
Yeah, that was so funny.
Can we also talk about how we don't have a very large area for fighting?
It's always so small.
It's always claustrophobic. That was my next note. Was very claustrophobic.
I think the reason they did that is to like simulate the like what Resident Evil does, where a lot of the fights take place in tight corridors in order to like build that tension of you have to kill them before you get cornered, essentially.
Sure, but we were in Central Park Zoo.
I know. It was a forced hallway, essentially.
It's also very funny, like, when you're, like, halfway through, like, the designated fighting spot, and, like, and then you get pulled into a fight, so Aya has to, like, slowly just walk back to where the beginning spot is for the fight.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I'm sorry, let me get in my spot.
Let me get in position, guys. Sorry, I forgot. Aya is so slow. Could have been a 4-hour game if she was faster. Photo style backgrounds are cool, but makes it impossible to judge perspective, resulting in bad controls at times. Not many games let you shoot a polar bear. Wish there was shops.
It would be nice to have a shop at some point.
Why? So you could go on a little shopping spree?
So I could buy, I don't know.
So I could sell the excess 800 ammo that I didn't need.
Or the cure poison, or anything like that.
Or the cure darkness, or the cure stiffness, or...
It's really just like, I wish I just had a shop so I could buy back my mod permits for shitty guns that I put it on by accident.
Blythe, read this next note for me.
Carriage fight?
Carriage fight?
Yeah, so there's a point in the fight where there's a point when you're looking for Eve in the story, and you go and you find her
right after the Christmas Day
and she
singing.
knocks your ass into a carriage that is horse-drawn, and
No,
then she
you actually
lights the
willingly get into it.
Oh,
Yeah,
you willingly
you
get into it.
Yeah, she's sitting in there.
And then
She looks
Eve
at me.
lights the horses on fire, and they start running down there, and you're doing a boss fight in the back of a carriage while Eve is trying to get you. And I was doing an achievement at the time for retro achievements where you're supposed to fight her without ever using parasite moves.
Yeah.
So I was fighting bosses without using parasite moves, and at this fight I had no problem. It was super easy, despite being trapped in that super tiny carriage. It was very easy to dodge her moves.
She just orbital, like, if you sit right in the spot, she just orbital lasers where you were standing, and all you have to do is just move out of the way.
And it's like, I am literally a fish in a barrel, and you can't hit me.
It didn't feel like a fight. It felt more like one of those car trips where you're in the back seat with your sibling, and they keep like touching you, and you're like, "Mommy's touching me."
I'm not touching you.
You're like, "Mommy's touching me." And it just wasn't a good fight.
The best part of the game is when the racist cop ignites immediately after saying, "Go back to your country." And like, Maeda is trying to talk Japanese with another cop to try and find Aya, and the cop is speaking like perfect Japanese.
Yeah, okay, here's the weird thing. Maeda can talk to Aya and Daniel, but can't talk to the cops normally.
Yes, his English was better after the point where he said his English wasn't good. He's like, I can't talk in English very good. Do you want to speak Japanese?
He knew that cop was racist. He's like, I'm gonna burn you. I'm gonna get you
rage
burned.
bait him.
And he's like, Nihon desu ka? And he's like, yeah, I am Japanese. And then he's like, oh wait, sorry, in Japanese. And then the other cop is like, why don't you go on back to your own country if you're not going to speak English? And then 5 seconds later, I'm on fire.
Oh, no.
So satisfying.
Anyway,
This is so fucking stupid. It's like, why would you put this in the game?
Speaking of which, right after that part, when you're in Maeda's apartment in town, did anyone notice a piece of furniture that seemed particularly out of place in his apartment?
The burn barrel.
Yeah, the giant oil barrel that was lit.
I think it's just a cracked in. He's not there.
It's not an apartment. It was a crack den.
It's a cracked in that he just happened to find.
I'm surprised Aya didn't roll over and go, ow, and then roll back and you see a needle sticking out of her arm. Like,
it's not cracked dead.
Which, right after that, you go and raid a gun shop in a pharmacy.
in a pharmacy, like right next to each other on opposite sides of the cracked in.
yeah. But oil barrel in the living room right next to the TV.
Yeah,
like,
what New York crackhead just has an oil
How
barrel?
gauche, am I right?
He's like watching the Jay Leno show while there's an oil barrel going off.
I mean, to solidify that apartment, that evacuated crackhead apartment, has not only a dresser, a couch, and a bed all in it, and an oil barrel. I'd say that crackhead is living up, like, is the bourgeoisie of crackheads.
Enough that he probably doesn't need the oil barrel, but he just really likes it. It's a good touch. Okay.
Conversation started.
I got my own fire barrel.
Fuck the sewer and fuck the bats. Blind is the worst. Now, normally in Final
Darkness.
Fantasy, when
It's
you get
called
hit with
darkness.
blind, yeah, it's called blind in Final Fantasy, and it shows a similar icon, the sunglasses icon. Stevie Wonder's glasses is the icon,
Yeah, they put a little Stevie Wonder right up in your right hand corner.
and you're blind, and Aya cannot hit anything like this. And if she does hit, she does 1 damage. And in other games, in like Final Fantasy, the accuracy reduction is very minimal, like 30% taken off the top at most. Something you can totally just deal with in Final Fantasy. But in this, they just made Aya so absolutely useless when she's blind.
Well, like, here's the thing about the effects. It's like all absolutes. Like, barrier that you get blocks all damage.
And the thing that activates blind on you is being done by the bats, and it is a cone move with like unlimited range. So it gets wider and wider and wider and takes up more of the already small zone the further away that it shoots. So, like, I'm trying to not get hit by it at all so that I don't have to go and use one of the stupid items to cure it. And the items that cure it, it says, if you use this, it will cure the ailment, but also make you resistant to it for a little while. I did not experience any of the resistance.
Maybe you have to macrodose it. Maybe you have to take a bunch.
You know what's funny about that is, like, I didn't have as much trouble with the bats as you did, I guess, because
this was before I was upgrading my guns.
Well, that could have been it too. But like what I was doing is you have like a parasite ability called haste. I was using that to outrun their attack because it literally makes you faster as well as your ATB gauge go faster.
Sewer is a classic stupid time waster to pad out game length to make it seem like the game is worth more than it is. Hate the JPEG backgrounds, actually. Changed my mind on that. Becomes a bit of a navigational nightmare.
The JPEG nightmare, if anything, they look like what the JPEG nightmare backgrounds kind of look like what would happen if you took a bunch of Benadryl and walked around New York City.
Yeah, everything looks flat but weirdly detailed.
JPEG nightmare sounds like a band name or some shit.
It does. Connie, do you remember the questionnaire boxes at the museum?
Yes.
Did you succeed on any of them?
A couple of them. Because you had to pay attention to the story, and it was like literally a quiz show on like, hey, do you remember when this happened in this story?
Yeah. Isn't it crazy how this quiz thing gives the winner painkillers and ammo as rewards?
America Dream right there. What are you talking about?
Yeah, so kids are going out to this museum, taking the quiz, passing, and they're being given like a fucking bottle of codeine.
Sell it. Sell it for a day trip.
From sewers onwards, it's a directionless labyrinth. You are not beating it without a guide. I hit 1k ammo, and non-skippable cutscene, no save after final boss before insta-kill chase sequence.
Yeah, so that was one of my gripes, was that chase sequence. Because I had beaten the boss on the first try with like a bunch of leftover stuff. Mm-hmm. And this is the part that pissed me off a lot. I went inside, like, as I was being chased by the final boss, and I went inside the ship, I saw the phone, I'm like, oh, cool, I could save.
Yep, I did that too.
And then all of a sudden the fucking monster comes in, still moving while the fucking text is on the screen still.
Yeah, so you pick up the phone, and she's like, huh, it must be out of service. And then it's all like... all up in your buns.
And then you don't have enough time to open the door right next to it to get out of there. And then it grabs you and then suddenly game over.
Yeah.
And then you have to do that entire 4-part boss sequence.
You got baited by a fake phone. Yeah, we got baited.
But it's also a really unforgiving because the boss takes up a wide area and you're running away from it. And then there's false hallways that don't lead in the direction that you're supposed to go to finish the stage. So if you take a wrong turn in Albuquerque, you're just dead.
You know what's funny is I did that entire chase sequence without a guide.
Yeah, I used a guide. After my third try, I was like, I'm not putting it at chance anymore. I'm not fighting this boss a fourth time.
I will say I did do a save state.
Connie is better at games than us sometimes.
I think she just might be a Parasite Eve fan in a different life.
I actually like Parasite Eve a lot.
I like it too. I just have some issues.
Yeah, there's always issues with older games. Bosses, like, chase sequences like this, right after a 4-part boss phase with no save at all, is diabolical.
Alright, yeah, no, it should have an autosave sequence. Like, it should ask you if you want to save after that boss fight. After the final boss, when you fight Adult, it should ask you if you want to save.
It's not Adult form, it's, I think it's called Perfect form.
Okay, yeah.
Or something like that.
We will save that for when we get into the spoiler zone. Does anyone have any notes that didn't go over what I talked about?
Daniel is a divorced dad.
Yeah. Well, you find out that's worse than that in the story later on.
He's not only divorced.
Wait, that's spoiler zone.
Right.
It's so easy to spoil this game.
Divorced dad with a kid who doesn't really like him all that much.
Alright, Smith, did you have any notes of something that I didn't cover?
No. Not that I know of. My gripes were few because, like I said, I only played like 3 hours of it, but it was not the best 3 hours of my life.
Yeah, okay, so like based on your 3 hours, what would you say you thought of it? Like, would you recommend other people play it?
That's hard because I'm of the mindset of like,
Pokemon gamer.
first of all, shut the hell up. Second of all, shut the fuck up. Third of all, fucking, I'm of the mindset of like, if you something and you want to play it, watch it, read, just do it. Who cares what everyone else says? If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. That being said, I was not a fan. I didn't hate it, but I don't think I've got enough into it to be like, yeah, no, I hate this. I found it boring. I found the combat annoying and just bad. I found the lack of a tutorial more annoying. And I found the main character lifeless and old. She was just kind of there.
I'm interested to read the book because this was based off of a book.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, Christ.
I kind of want to read the book.
Blythe, you were next most played. So what's your opinion on it? Will you go back and finish it after this?
God, no, I'm surprised I put 4 hours straight into it without falling asleep.
Yeah, she played her first day playing it. She did a straight 4-hour play session, and then came time to start it up again, and she was like, y'all are behind me, so I will wait until you're ahead of me. And then both me and Connie beat it before she returned to it again.
I beat it last night.
That was the plan.
I did like a straight 6-hour session of just playing Parasite Eve.
Would you recommend it to anyone?
I mean, if you want to experience it, yeah, that's fine.
It's unique. It's different.
It's unique. Playing it all the way through, you're just gonna get the only differences you're gonna get is the story.
The story's decent. All right.
The gameplay is the same through all the way out.
All right, so from here on out, we are entering the spoiler zone. What?
I want to give my little review on it, too.
Oh, we're going to do that after we get into the spoiler zone,
okay.
because me and you have played further. All right, if you are hearing this now, we are entering the spoiler zone. If you have not decided whether you want to play Parasite Eve yet, and you want to play Parasite Eve, go out and play it now, because we are going to talk about nothing but spoilers from here on out. So,
I guess I better
Leave. Bye.
the story is that Eve is basically a special kind of mitochondria that has been living in the human shadow by living in their cells throughout history, and she's had enough of it, and she says, humans have been in charge without a predator long enough, and I want to be in charge now. And so her mitochondria takes over Melissa, and Melissa had been, apparently this whole time, her medication that she's been taking for her illness is not for her illness. The medication was... It's close. Immunosuppressants. It was suppressing her immune system so that Eve's cells could successfully take over, because Melissa had recently just had an organ transplant that was from Maya, Aya's younger sister, who had Eve's cells in her.
Which she also had a transplant.
That's fucking
Yes,
stupid
Aya
and
received an
complicated.
eye transplant from Maya.
Which is why she sees these visions.
Yeah, she sees some shit. She sees her sister walking around and guiding her.
Oh,
You can
those.
gaze into the
Okay.
future.
Yeah, so, and that's why she's like, she says her head feels hot, is because
It's her
it's her eye.
Maya's cells, Maya's mitochondria, Eve mitochondria, gets along particularly well with Aya's body. And for Melissa, it did not. And so someone was giving her immunosuppressants so that Eve could take over.
Probably that doctor dude.
Yeah, it was.
Clamp. Dr. Clamp.
Yeah, Dr.
Which
Clamp
also
was
is,
doing it.
that's such a fucking weird ass name for a doctor.
Clamp.
Get the clamps!
That's what I think of, yeah.
And so Eve came out that day and took over
Good for
Melissa's
her.
body. Yeah.
They said something about the opera particularly bringing out the mitochondria or whatever. Like, they respond well to the opera.
It's like a king in yellow situation? Like, what do you...
No, I think it had to do with the fact that she took down the whole bottle of immunosuppressants that
Yeah,
day.
she did. In her notes, it says that she took a lot more than usual.
Which, don't do.
Yeah, do not take more than directed of anything.
Even if it's
Me when I
immunosuppressants.
beat my infection by taking all of my amoxicillin at once.
That's how the Hat Man gets you.
The next order of business for Eve after taking over is to get pregnant so that she can give birth to the ultimate being.
Huh?
Perfect cell?
Basically.
Perfect mitochondria?
So, one of our missions is to go to the hospital that has a sperm donor facility inside of it. And throughout this
Wipe it
game,
out.
you will hear the word sperm more often than you would if you read a biology book. and you hear sperm, 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 and so you go to this hospital, and you're going to the hospital to try and find the sperm bank section. And while you're in there, you find the room where Maya was being operated on, where she was being worked on. You have a flashback to that. You run into a doctor, and there's a doctor there, and she's like, yeah, we have a sperm donor facility. It's up on the blank floor. Why? And she's like, oh, because I need to destroy it. Can you tell me how to destroy it? And the doctor's like, yeah, you can just turn one of the valves in the other room. And it's like, why would you fucking tell her that? A crazed woman just ran at you and said she needs to immediately burn some semen.
Because she don't give a fuck about that semen. We can always get more. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does kind of just, unlimited from the tap. But
free refills.
We do not get to it in time, and Eve successfully inseminates herself with some semen found.
Where she stick her long ass fingers and just
I guess.
Yeah, cootie.
And she hates humans, but she's perfectly fine with some human semen.
Her meow meow was hungry.
I hate men.
I wonder who the father is.
But I really wanted.
I wonder who's like the father of Eve.
Yeah. So if you have a fear of pregnancy and giving birth and children, this game will only make that fear worse.
Only make that fear worse, as if Eve herself is going to come and inseminate you.
You don't see how gross her body is.
Damn, that's crazy.
I did see pregnant Eve.
You've seen pregnant Eve?
Yeah, it's just she's just like herself, but like her arms are all gone. She's just webbed up, and then she has like a big pregnant belly.
Yeah, the big pregnancy belly is like, she's not having a kid, she's having like 12.
Oh, I've seen, like a spider sack?
I've seen art like that.
And it's like extra veiny and gross looking, and then you defeat Eve, and you meet Eve there, and then that day ends, and then she's over at the Statue of Liberty. She's created a giant slime monster out of all the people that she slimed at the concert.
The concert, yeah, at Central.
She created a giant slime monster to basically serve as a mech for herself, and then she goes around stomping down New York. I was gonna say Tokyo, but she starts stomping down New York.
Pregnant giant kaiju,
and brings her to the Statue of Liberty, where she goes where she successfully gives birth, and boy does she recover really well from a pregnancy that size, because her tummy is flat the next time you see her.
It's that mitochondria Zimbic.
This is what she looks like. That's the pregnant Eve.
Ew. Get that away from me.
So the giant slime monster's there, and Ayabrea is on a battleship. She was brought there by the Navy, and the Navy is like, we need you to get in as close as possible and launch the nukes at it. And she's like, I don't know how to fly a helicopter. And he's like, it's on autopilot. It'll get you there.
Helicopters don't have an autopilot, by the way.
So they're flying there, and it's doing like some sick ass maneuvers. Like, this is some super advanced autopilot. Like,
it was flying like a jet,
like bobbing and weaving between buildings, and like doing sick Uis in the parking lot.
Some
flips and shit.
There's no autopilot that can do that, but there are pilots that can do that.
Here's the other thing: is there was actual like other pilots in front of her too.
In the other helicopters, manned pilots.
They were basically sacrificial pawns to get you as close to the monster as possible.
Yeah. So as you get in close, Eve is in the gunner's seat, and she's like, "What's with this formation?" And they're like, "It's for you, ma'am. We're here to make sure that you get there. We planned for this attack outcome." And they build in a straight line in front of her, and as you get closer and closer,
yeah, they start blowing up like fireworks
until she gets close. She fires the nuke. It blows the head off the slime Eve, and then the slime dissipates, but Eve is still alive. So you gotta go down there to Ground Zero before Ground Zero existed.
Yeah.
It's New York, we're fine. So you go to Ground Zero, and Eve is there, and Aya's like, I'm not done here. We gotta finish this. And Eve is there, and she's like, so it was you in the helicopter who fired a nuke at me.
Oh.
And so you get into the final fight with her, 2-stage boss fight, nothing special. Actually, kind of, I don't remember any of it. She has multiple arms, and she fires at you from in front, but if you get behind her, she's got like some sick moves that will like kill you instantly, so just never stand behind her.
She's fucking pregnancy
multi-segmented, so you have to
She's
destroy
multi-segmented too. So you have to shoot bottom, middle, top to kill her quickest and safest. But I also just had blast on my assault rifle, so I just picked the middle and shot only that.
Okay.
So you defeat her, and then around this time you learn Liberate, which is it gives a description of sets Aya's mitochondria free.
I actually had Liberate before this fight. I was level 34. You get it at level 30.
I had it as well, but so I used it for this fight as well. But she'll turn into a mitochondria version of herself, mitochondria Aya or whatever, Parasite Aya, and
Mitochondria.
Yeah, mitochondria, and she comes out. She's like nude. She's got like wings and stuff, and she comes in. It's like Devil Trigger, but you don't control any of it. She comes in. She just does a bunch of fucking karate moves on the enemy, and then she disappears. So like it's a lot of damage. It is enough to wipe out a boss's health bar in one activation.
You can actually do the first form of the final boss with just that ability. You finish it with just that move.
I was doing 354 damage per hit with that move, and that move has like 10 hits in the combo.
Jesus Christ.
Completely skips the boss fight.
It's essentially a limit breaker.
Yeah, so it consumes your whole parasite bar as consequence.
I figured.
But I had
You also
already
get a slight stun
gotten some of the
afterwards.
achievements for defeating the bosses without using the parasite moves. So on my second playthrough, by which I mean I died and returned and farmed up a bit. So on my second one, I did liberation for those fights. But the after that, you defeat Eve. You return to the boat, and everyone was like, "Hell yeah, you did it, Aya! Let's talk nothing about the sacrifices of the 4 men that exploded in front of you to make sure that you could get there." And they all cheer. They're all happy. Maeda is about to confess his love for Aya before he gets cucked by Daniel once again, interrupting him. He's like, "Enough of your Japanese traditions. Stop giving her special charms and doohickeys like you have throughout the rest of the game. No time for that. We gotta party." And right as that starts to happen, the water shines and ripples, and then you come to the realization that the perfect being was born.
It was her plan the whole time.
Yeah, it was her plan the whole time.
This is at the Statue of Liberty, by the way. They were born in the harbor of the Statue of Liberty.
The lovely conception of Parasite Eve and Statue of Liberty. What a beautiful ship.
Well, they say it was on purpose because of what that represented to mankind, what the Statue of Liberty represents, freedom and human, ingenuity and stuff like that. So she chose that place on purpose because it would be the most symbolic against the humans. And the ocean was basically representative as mother because the ocean was the source of all life.
This game's Christmas game and a pro-choice game.
Let's go!
Yes, you do not abort because your child could be the ultimate perfect being.
I said pro-choice, not pro-life.
Oh, right. Oops.
Yeah, purchase.
Yeah,
different.
Abort it in case it does become the perfect ultimate being.
Well, it's gonna kill all of humanity.
So
that's not very pro-choice.
The light comes out of the
pro-life.
ocean. You see an egg, like its amniotic sac, and the baby just fucking rips out of there, and it's like, and it climbs up onto the edge of the ship, and you can see its little baby butt cheeks and little imp tail coming out, and it cries a bunch more, crawls onto the ship, is now perfectly clean, and it's a baby with a giant, massive dome, like
fucking Jimmy Neutron looking
head,
ass.
Megamind kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you go over and you kill it. It takes a few shots. You can liberate to get through the first phase. I did because you get your parasite points back. So you just got this like full-grown woman just doing the fucking kung fu moves, some Bruce Lee shit onto the baby.
That's what the people at the Mayo Clinic didn't do to you. Liberation. Liberate you from the baby inside of you.
So that's just the first phase. The second phase happens with like a teenage form of it. Like it's growing up at a rapid pace. So it's like a teenage form next. It's got a separate like wing form on its back, and the wing form you have to shoot it's 2-segmented now. You shoot the body and you shoot the wing, and when you do enough damage, it then separates with the humanoid form crawling around on all fours, firing a fuck off Kamehameha laser that sweeps across the screen, and then the little wing thing goes flying across the map with like lightning stuff. So I skipped firing at the wing thing. It recommends, like, there's guides that recommend you kill the wing thing first. I skipped over that and just shot the little dude that's running around because he's annoying.
See, both annoying, I'm gonna be honest.
And then the third stage boss is mature
The
form.
adult form.
Yeah, it calls it mature form in the guide, I believe, but it's a big full-grown ass dude. And he's just a big naked dude, smooth downstairs. Except there is like some kind of sack hanging from behind his butt that I swear is a ball sack.
It looks like a ball sack.
It looks like a giant ball sack. Like, I mean a massive, like, basketball sized. And then his tail is long and very penis-y looking.
Like he's got like elephantitis or something.
It's like if the penis and balls were put above his butt crack, basically.
That doesn't make sense. That's not where those go.
Well, he's the perfect being. Obviously, it has to go there.
And he uses a lot of Parasite moves like energy balls, firing lasers, AoE field wipes. And there's this one move where he'll just grab you, and no matter what health count you're currently at, he will reduce you down to 1 health.
That's lame.
Yeah.
So he looks kind of like this in his mature form. Oh, here, let me get a bigger picture for you.
Oh.
That is a ball sack.
That's his second form
Also,
right there.
you also forgot to mention the breasts.
The in-game
the
form does
knee
not have the
plates.
boobs.
Huh?
That's its,
the in-game form
second
doesn't have the
form right
boobs.
here.
It has 2 sets of male pectorals, not female.
That's boobs, though. That's straight
It's boobs in this art.
This is the second form that they were talking about with the wings.
Believe it or not, the peak male
Still feeling very penis-y at the top there.
Yeah.
at the bottom. Look at its tail. That looks like an uncircumcised dong.
Yeah, uncut. So you defeat the mature form, and you think you're all done when the final form shows up, the ultimate form. And the ultimate form, Connie, you want to run down this boss fight? I don't remember it super well.
Basically, there's a bunch of little triangle things shooting lasers at you.
That's a
your
whole
weapon.
sperm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a sperm tail.
It looks like a sperm. Which is funny because it's the perfect form. And anyway, so basically you find out, you start fighting this thing. It's shooting lasers at you. You find out your weapon does no damage to this thing at this point. And earlier, before all this fight started, Maida gave you this gun, which if you look at the stats for it, it does 1 damage.
Yeah, it's obviously a magical MacGuffin.
Yeah, well, no, actually it's not. So earlier in the story at the museum, it has this little lab, and Maida took some blood samples from you because they had some samples from Eve there, and he developed essentially a antibody to this the Eve cells, and he turned them into bullets that he was trying to give you before they had to fly off the ship.
Okay, you gotta have to let me tell the story about how he gives how the bullets get to Aya, though. Oh yeah, I forgot about talking about Daniel. Oh,
Well, Daniel is just the partner to Aya. That's about it.
Well-
Aya is a new cop, and
the people that were there at the concert hall were there to see that concert thing, which was supposed to be the second rendition of Melissa's thing, and so that's why Eve was there. So she turned everyone there into goo, and these were special people with special cells that she wanted, and among them was Ben, Daniel's son.
Ben
And
his mom.
Yeah,
Lorraine.
Mom stayed behind, so Mom was liquefied, and so that giant slime monster at the end of the game got Lorraine inside of it.
Yeah, I
So,
figured.
so Daniel is not just divorced, but a widower.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of other shit too that goes on, but yeah, you find a list about in Dr. Clamp's laboratory at the museum, and you see a donor list for potential subjects. Lorraine and Ben were on that list for potential specimens to be a part of this big thing. But yeah, the ones with inferior mitochondria essentially burn into flames. The ones with the good kind are liquefied and turn into basically bioslop for the ultimate being.
That bioslop is able to reanimate. So when we're going through the museum, you're fighting little animals like armadillos and little rat thing.
As well as dinosaurs.
But then the fossils are being brought back to life by the mitochondria.
Oh, okay.
So you're fighting dinosaurs at one point. So you're fighting raptors and pterodactyls, a T-Rex, a triceratops. Yeah.
Yeah. It has very unique and random enemies throughout it, and it's crazy how much variety there is in that sense.
Blythe, I forgot to ask you, would you play the sequel? Because I heard that the third one is not any good.
There's a third?
Yeah, Yeah, third birthday on the PSP.
I didn't know that.
I want to play the second one now, just because I'm curious to see where this goes. But yeah.
We don't want to do too many of these back to back, though.
No, I'm not going to do them back to back. I will say, I haven't finished an RPG game in forever, and it's funny that I actually finished this one.
Well, it's because it's actually short.
It's short, it's to the point in some cases, and then, I mean, obviously there's some padding there with, like, the sewer area and warehouse.
So go ahead and finish up the story thing, then.
Okay, so, fighting the ultimate being, you do no damage, even with, like, Moeda's gun. So then we find out from Moeda that he has made these bullets using Aya's blood, which has, like, you know, the antibodies to whatever the fuck this is, in a clip of or I guess it's a magazine of a pistol, and they're in a helicopter at this point, because if they get anywhere close to these things, they light on fire. Daniel, the absolute mad lad, jumps out of the fucking helicopter with the clip, like the magazine in hand, and he does like this fucking, like, he crosses his arms like this, Blythe, look, goes like this out of the helicopter straight down with the clip, or like the magazine in his hand, towards the monster, like the water, and he starts bursting into flames while he's going down doing this, and he fucking chucks like the magazine at like Aya. She catches it, and he lands in the water, which gets the flames off of him, and she puts it in her gun, and then you start shooting at the, like, it goes back to the real combat, and you start shooting at the boss, dealing 999 damage a shot. And it takes, like, I think, like, 5 shots before it finally, like, ends it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's over for, like, the boss phase of the game. Like, there's no more fighting after that.
Yeah, so then after that, it immediately tosses you into the next sequence, which is the boss that you just shot at. Its wings are coming off because the body is rejecting itself because of because of Aya's cells, and its wings are falling off, and so it's grounded, and it's slinking along the ground chasing after. And the game tells you if it comes into contact with you, it will kill you instantly. So you have to run from the creature by going over, opening the door, and Aya is slow as hell. But the creature is even slower somehow. And you open up the door, you run in. The first room, she immediately runs over to the map and goes, I need to find a way to kill this thing. Engine room. And so you have the option to go for the engine room or by running for the door, or the telephone, which is right there.
That you saved at earlier.
Like, yeah,
it's a phone you saved at earlier.
Yeah, so you saved at it earlier, so you know it's a working save phone, and the light is still on. So you interact with it, and it's like, this phone is not in service right now, and then you immediately get gobbled by the monster.
Yeah, the monster comes through the door while the text is on screen moving, and you're like, oh my god, he's right there, and then you try to go for the door, and you don't have enough time to open the door because it's a long-ass fucking sequence of opening the door.
It's fucked up that the game doesn't let you save immediately after that massive 6 bosses in a row, but it also doesn't let you manually save at the save point, so you have to go from that 4-stage boss fight immediately into that chase sequence with no break, and then if you die here, you have to go all the way back to the beginning of the boss fight.
Or you die at any time during the chase sequence.
Yeah, so you go down there, you eventually find there's these like corridors. If you go the wrong way, there's a chance that the monster catches up and eats you, so because some of them are dead ends. So you get to the engine room, and the engine room has 2 ways around it. You can go through the middle, or you can go through the back end, and in either way you can run over to the ladder on the opposite side of the room to climb up. And if you climb up that ladder on the opposite side of the room, the monster will chase you through it, kill you. What you have to do is instead interact with the engine room and press the buttons on the thing and turn on the engine. And then you go up the ladder, and then it somehow magically doesn't chase you up it that way.
Hold on. So when you click the buttons on the engine in the engine room, there's a line that she says that's super fucking funny. She's like, I hope you like it here because this is Hell's Kitchen. And then she climbs up the ladder.
Yeah, and then you climb up the ladder, and then you go to run for the exit, and it comes in after you, and it's faster now, it's catching up.
It starts growing its wings back and catching up to you.
And you run, and then you jump off the boat, and the boat explodes with the sperm monster inside. Okay. And then it cuts forward later, everyone's hanging out, and that's kind of just the end.
Well, no, so you go to the theater again that you started at the very beginning.
Yeah.
It's the same play that was playing at the very beginning.
They chose to go back to the same play that just gave them trauma.
But it's with Moeda, Ben, and Daniel, like, there as well. And they're late for the show, whatever. The play's playing, but then they incorporate, like, a new element with, like, a fucking torch for some reason. It freaks them all the fuck out because, like, oh my god, a torch. Everything's on fire again, just like last time. But no, it's just part of the play. And it gets to the part where the person on stage starts singing again, like Melissa did. And, like, everyone's just, like, staring, and it's like, you know, that cold, vacant stare that you normally have when you're at, like, when you have a bunch of eyes on you and you're, like, performing. And everyone in the crowd, all their eyes start glowing red, including, like, Aya's and everyone. And it's, like, really surreal, freaky shit that makes... And a lot of people theorize, like, oh, it's like a thing saying, like, oh, everyone has a mitochondria inside them that just lies dormant, waiting to be activated, essentially.
And then that's the end of the game. So it leaves it very open-ended. So maybe the sequel's better. I don't know. I haven't looked into it. I know that the third one sucks from what people say.
I wonder why.
I don't know. It seems like a perfect fit, because think about it. The PSP only has the left stick, so it should function perfectly fine like the first one. But, so yeah. Connie, give your opinions on the game since we have reached the end of the game now.
I like it for what it is. Obviously, it could use, like, more modern fixes to it, but for the time period that it was in, I think it was perfectly okay for that time. I will say there's some parts where it's just absolutely diabolical, like that end sequence with the fucking phone. That is such a fucking kick in the balls. Not to mention you have to do that entire chase
the light
sequence.
shouldn't have even been on. They should have just turned the light off for that sequence so you know you can't save at it.
But yeah, that whole part was a kick in the balls, but the rest of it, I feel like, with enough, like, running into walls and shit, you probably wouldn't have enough, like, have any trouble with, like, the game onward from that. So I think it's perfectly fine for what it is, and I enjoyed it, and I'm actually super interested to play the second one, if and when we do play it.
So my thoughts are, one, take my opinions with a grain of salt, because I have no sense of nostalgia tied to the PS1, and I have no sense of nostalgia tied to Parasite Eve either. I didn't own a PS1 growing up. My first PlayStation wasn't until the 2.
I never played PlayStation at all until I moved in with y'all, and I had no previous experience with playing PlayStation game either, so like, I haven't even played Final Fantasy VII, if that tells you anything.
You missed out because PlayStation 2 is really good, but so I have no such a sense of nostalgia tied to the platform or the games on it, so I'm like, it's a good game. I don't like how it controlled, but I understand that it's the best that they could do, but I just still didn't like it. But also, I feel like if they made a modern sequel to it, they would have to completely get rid of everything that made it Parasite Eve, and then that would make it suck because it would be just another horror shooter. It would be no different from anything else. The gun mechanics and the RPG mechanics in it are really, really good. I really liked tinkering with the guns and building the best gun. I like the bonus point system, even though I just dumped it into damage at the end, so it may as well not have existed. I like the leveling system and how quickly you level up. I want to try EX mode, but also at the same time, my brain is like, you beat the game, you're done with it, and I have no energy to go back for it.
That's how I felt.
But I know EX mode is harder, and it would be more challenging, and maybe that would make it more interesting to me, but...
There's also an extra ending that's tied to... here's the thing, in EX mode, there's also a building called the Chrysler Building, obviously, that has, like, these floors that are...
It's like the Bloody Palace mode in Devil May Cry.
Right, and it's just a battle to the top, and you fight a more pure, like, version of Eve. Can't remember how.
Typical extra boss stuff that you see in Square Enix game.
Yeah.
But I thought the game was okay. I just don't think it holds up very well. I think if you have no nostalgia tied to this game, you're probably not going to have a great time with it. It's going to very much be a coin flip. I think if you like RPGs and you like games from this time, it's worth a shot. I mean, it's only 10 hours long. It only has 8-axis movement, so it plays perfectly fine on a handheld that doesn't have a D-pad, but I didn't play it like that. I played it with an actual dual stick controller.
Me too.
But it would play perfectly fine on a handheld without analog sticks, so if you want to try it that way, you can. It's just alright. I think it's good for its story.
In the environment.
But there is a lot of PlayStation 1 jank. A lot of PlayStation 1 jank. Alright. that is it. The next game, well, it's either Metroid Fusion.
Didn't talk about.
You did. You talked about it before we did the spoiler section.
Yeah, but final thought.
Oh, I guess final thoughts. Go ahead.
Blood,
You go.
She's been doing it the whole time.
She's been doing it, waiting for y'all to notice and crack up.
Final thoughts? Not for me, but you know me. I have a very strange taste in game.
We're not even sure if he plays video games.
It's true. But
Nope.
You want to retake that one?
Yeah, you want to retake that one?
oh, did it cut off at Enigma?
I did not hear the first E. I did not hear the E in that.
I am an enigma.
There we go.
Yeah, no, I just thought it was a little boring. I wouldn't play it again.
It gets very boring in the middle.
So final thoughts, kind of fucking boring. 3 out of 10. 3
3
hours
out
of
of
my
10.
life out of 10.
I thought it was more like a 6 or a 7.
6, 7.
Oh, Christ. Don't get her fucking started.
All right, Blythe, final thoughts?
My final thoughts for it is that it is certainly a weird experience. And I don't know if it's a good weird experience or a bad weird experience. I think story-wise, I think it's unique. It's pretty nice. And maybe they should do something with it. Well, can they do something? Could Square Enix even do something with it, considering they're not called Squaresoft anymore? I don't really know.
I think they still own it. I think they could bring it back. They've republished it multiple times on other systems, but it was just the original. They didn't remaster it, I don't think.
I think
It's okay. All right, Connie, would you recommend it?
I think it's a good play just for like... I think... Here's my experience with it. It's funny playing a Japanese RPG game through the lens of someone who like has not lived in America, and then having it like be like, you know, have like all these RPG mechanics. I think it's just super funny and unique in that way. And then not knowing what to do with like guns at that time and just having like a range indicator is really funny. It's just really funny to me. So I thought it was a unique, fun experience in my opinion, but it's because I've never seen that before. So
I mean, I'd recommend it because, you know, live in the era of emulation and stuff like that. So like, if you can play it without it costing you anything, go ahead. I wouldn't bother going out of your way to buy it though.
No.
Blythe, would you recommend it?
sure play a little bit, see if you like it or not. I don't see why not.
If you can deal with clunk and jank, I think you can get through it. But it's some severe clunk and jank. All right, so the next episode is going to have us play either Metroid Fusion on the GBA or Evo Search for Eden on the SNES, and that's going to depend on them because here's the thing: Metroid Fusion is 4 hours long, so it's very short, but it's also Metroid, and none of us have played a Metroid game before. And the other thing is that Evo Search for Eden might be a little more of Smith's thing. It's an RPG on the SNES where you play a creature that is evolving, and you evolve by battling and eating other creatures. It's an action RPG. You explore and stuff. So you just play a little guy who's evolving and becoming a bigger little guy. I have never played a Metroid game. Blythe's never played a Metroid game before. I think Smith has never
I
played
have played a Metroid game.
You have? Which one?
Zero Mission and...
Was it Zero that I was whichever one was supposed to be which one is chronologically the first?
I don't know. Whatever one has you
Chronologically,
in that blue squishy suit.
that's Fusion.
Oh, I play Fusion.
Okay, let's just flip a coin then, I guess.
Here, I'll be the
Heads
coin
I
for you.
went to.
Let's just play the other one that is Metroid.
You just want to not play Metroid.
You're right, I don't.
I want to play Metroid one of these days.
Then play Metroid on your own.
No, I
time.
haven't.
Dang.
On my own time, it's my own pick. It's my turn. This is my own time.
I'm just
I
videoing.
meant your own like person.
No, fuck all of you. Metroid Fusion is the next game. You've been punished. You did it to yourselves.
What did
All
I
right,
do?
thank you everybody for watching and listening, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.
You didn't say bye, Blythe.
Bye-bye.
Special thanks to the members on YouTube like Linky, Willie Pete, and Dragon Fanatic.